Welcome to LA's Listening Lounge with stories you can hear and words you can feel. Today's story is titled, The Glow Up Tonight, A Heart Breaks Quietly, like the hush before dawn, and a woman rises softly, letting serenity settle around her shoulders like a favorite shawl. She doesn't chase closure. Instead, she chooses peace, and in that peace, she feels the warmth of sunrise on her skin, a gentle, golden glow radiating from within, steady and new. Sometimes, the real revenge is becoming the woman you were always meant to be. Whether through heartbreak or hardship, she learns that true closure comes from within, each breath a step closer to the glow she once sought in someone else. Today's story is titled The Glow Up, Chapter 1, The Fall. Zara Monet once believed in fairy tale endings, the kind written on crisp pages and color-coded into life's luxury planner. Her mornings began with checklists and soft jazz, dreams lined up neatly. Become a creative marketing powerhouse. Launch her own beauty brand. Marry Roman, her longtime boyfriend. Every goal, intentional. Every move, ambitious. She was the architect of her ambitions, and for years, the silent architect of Roman's as well. She edited his business proposals at midnight, polished his social profiles, and prayed for his success, sometimes more fervently than he did. Yet lately, Roman's laughter had grown rare and hollow. He lingered over his phone during their date nights, glancing up absently when she spoke. His gratitude had become an afterthought, compliments replaced by critiques, her presentation a bit much, her ideas a little out there. The air around them changed, quiet and brittle. She noticed the smallest things, how he'd sigh instead of smile when she brought his favorite coffee, or how his gaze wandered when she talked about her latest campaign win. The man she once inspired now seemed distracted, unreachable, as if already somewhere else. Still, Zara clung to hope, wrapping herself in the memories of who he'd been, believing devotion could bridge any distance. But on a cold Thursday night, under amber restaurant lights that flickered against the rain-streaked window, everything shifted. Zara wore her favorite red dress, hair curled soft and shining, heart steadying itself for a night she'd convinced herself would be a new beginning. Instead, Roman's eyes, the ones she used to trust, didn't meet hers. They stared somewhere just over her shoulder. She tried to fill the silence with stories and laughter. He only offered tight-lipped nods. Then, as the plates cooled between them, he exhaled a truth that shattered the room's fragile warmth. "I think I need space," he said, voice flat, eyes drifting to the tablecloth. "I just don't think you're on my level anymore." Her breath hitched, the world tilting as if she'd stepped off a carousel spinning too fast. Space? Not on his level? She, the woman who'd built his confidence, championed his every dream, and cheered his smallest wins, now suddenly unworthy. Roman slid his phone across the table. On the bright screen, a new Instagram post. He was smiling, hand in hand with another woman. "Her name is Essence, we just click." "You're great, but..." He hesitated. "She fits my lifestyle better." Zara's pulse thundered in her ears. The silence roared. For a split second, anger flared, a vision of flipping the table, shattering the illusion. But she remembered her mother's words. "You don't fight for someone who's already left the ring." She gripped her purse, letting the tremor in her hands steady itself against the cool leather. She didn't grant him tears or words. Queens break after, not during the leaving. Outside, the city air stung her cheeks, the wind carrying the scent of rain and distant magnolias. As she walked, each step felt foreign, like learning to balance on new legs. The city lights blurred, gold and blue, echoing the confusion inside her. A single tear slipped down her face. She wiped it away before strangers could offer sympathy. On the curb, Zara paused, the shock settling in her bones. She closed her eyes, recalling a childhood memory. Bruised knees from a bike fall, her father's gentle hand pulling her up, saying, "You don't stay down. You rise, even if your legs still shake." In that quiet, she made herself a vow. This heartbreak would not define her. It would become the spark. She whispered into the night, soft but certain, "He lost me." I didn't lose a thing. Heartbreak hadn't ended her story. It had rewritten the beginning of a new one. As the city pulsed around her, Zara felt the first faint glow of resolve flicker in her chest. She turned toward home, ready to step into her next chapter. Chapter 2. Rock Bottom Meets Spark. Zara soon discovered that heartbreak doesn't crash in. It settles quietly, like dust in the corners of mornings when the bed feels impossibly wide. In the old playlists, she can't bring herself to stop. In the cafe corners where laughter once lived. She wore sweatshirts and silence as armor, finding a strange comfort in the chew of Haribo gummy bears. Roman's words haunted her, looping through her thoughts like a cruel refrain. Not on my level. We don't fit. She fits my lifestyle better. Those phrases carved into her chest, leaving marks only she could feel. But grief, relentless as it is, eventually softens into something else, something that smolders. Fire always burns upward. Just as the embers of resolve began to stir, Sky burst into her world. 3 days into her sadness marathon, the apartment door swung open with a bang. Sky strode in, all energy and determination, wielding a bag brimming with skincare, under-eye masks, ginger shots, and a satin robe that shimmered like a promise. "Okay, Cinderella, the pity party's over," Sky declared, voice bright and unyielding. "I am not about to let you fall apart over someone who used your Wi-Fi and then had the nerve to ask you to upgrade to a faster speed." Zara managed a weak laugh, but it dissolved into a sniff. "I really did love him, Sky." Sky gave her that look, eyebrows arched, lips pursed in playful disbelief. "No, babe, you loved who he pretended to be. The real Roman is out there posing on Instagram like he built the table, when all he did was show up with a paper plate." Zara hesitated, her defenses crumbling. That truth landed hard, like the crack of a bat against a fastball. Sky plopped onto the edge of the bed, the satin robe fanning out around her. "Listen, he didn't leave because you weren't enough. He left because you outgrew him, and deep down, he saw it before you did. One day, you were bound to wake up, look in the mirror, and realize, 'Girl, why am I shrinking for someone else's comfort when I'm meant for something bigger?'" Zara blinked, the new perspective lighting up a corner of her heart she thought was closed for business. She hadn't thought about it like that. With a flourish, Sky produced a new journal, sliding it into Zara's lap. "Write your next chapter. New rules, new woman. Write it all down. Manifest the life you want, ma'am." Flipping to the first blank page, Zara let her vision blur. Not from sadness this time, but from the spark of something unfamiliar yet promising. She wrote, the pen steady and purposeful. Rule #1, I will never again make someone the center of a universe I built. Rule #2, my glow-up is not revenge, it's rebirth. The pen felt powerful, a beacon in her hand. In that moment, Zara didn't fully grasp it, but her rise had begun, and the Romans of the world wouldn't see her coming. Chapter 3. The work begins. Healing isn't pretty at first. It's messy hair, long walks, affirmations on sticky notes, and blocking numbers you once memorized. Zara made a plan. Therapy every Wednesday, morning gym sessions, resume refresh, YouTube beauty content revamp, glow-up diet and hydration challenge. A personal rule, no stalking his social media, ever. Each commitment felt daunting at first, but with every step she discovered a new piece of herself. Some mornings she found herself hesitating at the gym door, but she went anyway. Not to look cute, but to feel strong. Sweat became her prayer. Music became her medicine. One playlist transition, I Need You Now by Smokey Norfolk, to Sorry, Not Sorry by Demi Lovato. And with it, her mood shifted from raw ache to defiance. Later in therapy, Zara caught her own reflection in the window and let her guard down. She didn't hide behind jokes this time. Instead, honest thoughts surfaced. Am I really ready to face this? She admitted patterns. She confronted childhood wounds. She looked in the emotional mirror and didn't flinch. Dr. Renee's voice grounded her. What did Roman give you that you can't give yourself? Zara paused, letting the question settle. Validation. Dr. Renee nodded, her encouragement quiet but firm. And what are you learning now? That I don't need permission to shine. A small, genuine smile from Dr. Renee met her answer. That's self-worth talking. With that, Zara left the office feeling lighter. Her glow wasn't visible yet, but internally, a queen was awakening and she liked it. Chapter 4. New room, new view. The scent of fresh lavender drifted softly through Zara's apartment, weaving between white orchids perched by the windowsill. Gold accents caught the afternoon light, gleaming with each shift of the sun, and her bare feet pressed into the plush new rug, a grounding reminder that she was building a sanctuary, not just redecorating. Each detail spoke of renewal. The gentle flicker of a lavender candle, the silken brush of curtains against her fingertips, the coolness of her vanity where a framed quote now stood, radiant and steady. A woman becomes unstoppable when she realizes she deserves better. Inhaling deeply, Zara let the words settle deep into her bones. A new energy hummed beneath her skin, a quiet, growing confidence. Her phone rang, shattering the calm with a burst of possibility. Hi, Zara. We saw your beauty reels, the before and after skin journey, the hair tutorials. We'd love to collaborate. For a heartbeat, silence filled the room. Zara's eyes widened, pulse thundering in her ears. Her hands trembled as warmth spilled through her chest, disbelief and hope colliding. Belle of Nell Beauty, her dream sponsor. She pressed her hand to her mouth, a giddy, disbelieving laugh bubbling up. Was this real? She squeezed her eyes shut, feeling tears prick behind her lids. Yes, this was happening. She managed to steady her voice, breath still shaky. Yes, I'd love to discuss partnership. When she hung up, the world blurred with joy. Zara spun, arms flung wide, the cool kitchen tile grounding her as she danced on tiptoes. The music in her heart was louder than any playlist, her laughter echoing off the walls, proof that she was alive again, not just surviving. Sky's FaceTime call lit up her phone, and Zara answered with a flushed, radiant smile, breathless from her kitchen waltz. Sky's face appeared, grinning. You look alive again, she teased, but her tone shifted as she leaned forward. Tell me you did not reopen your sponsorship program and let that man come back. Zara froze, Sky's question a needle pricking old wounds. Her eyes flicked away, and for a split second, memories surged, nights spent wondering why she was never enough. The ache of working so hard for someone who never really saw her. Her jaw tightened, but now the ache was replaced by a clear, fierce determination. She looked back at Sky, voice steady. What? Girl, no, Zara said, shaking her head. I feel alive again, and it has nothing to do with Roman. Sky's expression softened, her concern lingering in the air. What changed, and better yet, who caused the change? Zara drew in a slow breath, letting herself feel the heaviness of the past and the lightness of the present. She remembered other crossroads, choosing herself after losing friends who doubted her dreams, finding solace when she left toxic jobs, the quiet strength that always rose when she stopped begging for someone else's approval. Each time, blessings found her where self-doubt had once lived. She met Sky's gaze, eyes shining with resolve. I stopped trying to prove my worth to someone who couldn't see it, so believe me, it has nothing to do with Roman or anyone else. Sky cocked her head, curiosity sharpening her features. Well, what is it already, ma'am? A smile played on Zara's lips as she steadied her breath, the weight of gratitude settling in her chest. I finally got the call, sis. Belle of Nell Beauty contacted me for a possible partnership. I am so thankful. Sky's joy was immediate, her voice rising in celebration. That is amazing, girlfriend. The man above was just waiting for you to shed that dead weight before he allowed that call to come through. The words wrapped around Zara's heart, echoing the wisdom of her grandmother, about God's timing and the blessings that follow surrender. She felt a quiet awe, realizing how every time she let go, something greater had found her. Listen, sis, Zara said softly, her voice carrying years of lessons. I finally got to a point of letting him have the woman who'll benefit from my hard work. No hard feelings, because I'll take the life God built for me. And look, the moment I rested in that, I got the call of my dreams. Her words lingered, confidence blooming, not from ego, but from truth. That night, with hands steady and heart bright, Zara filmed a video bathed in golden lamplight. She spoke to the camera, eyes alight. Sometimes God removes people before they dim your future. Watch rise. Within minutes, her comments overflowed, women cheering, sharing their stories, thanking her for voicing what they'd been too afraid to say. They called her brave, an inspiration, a spark for their own journeys. She didn't just glow, she ignited, lighting the way for herself and for others who were finally ready to choose themselves, too. Chapter 5. The return Roman texted. Of course he did. They always circle back when the glow is undeniable. Hey, I've been thinking about you. I miss us. Zara stared at the message, thumb hovering over the screen. Old Zara would have felt the rush, a flutter in her chest, a scramble to reply, clinging to hope. She used to crave even crumbs of attention, but tonight, she just watched the words flatten against the glass, her pulse steady. I'm not that woman anymore. She set her phone down, face to the table. Peace over curiosity, strength over nostalgia. But the universe wasn't finished testing her resolve. 2 days later, she ran into Roman at a rooftop lounge, fate playing tricks. He hesitated on the threshold, his gaze darting to the floor before meeting hers. Shoulders hunched, lips parted. He lingered at the edge, hands fidgeting in his pockets, then smoothing his shirt as if he could iron out the history between them. His eyes finally traced her, the silk dress, the soft curls, the new radiance she wore like armor. He lingered, uncertain. "Zara, wow, you look—" She tilted her head, unflinching. "Like I healed?" Her voice was quiet, but the edge was clarity, not malice. Roman's jaw worked. He glanced away, knuckles tightened around his drink. His voice faltered. I messed up." She nodded once. The old ache didn't rise. "Yes." "You did?" He reached for her hand but stopped short, fingers curling as he hesitated. His gaze flickered, shame, longing, confusion warring on his face. "Can we talk? I tried to explain how I felt. You never answered." She stepped back. Her chest didn't clench. Old Zara would have let him take her hand, would have leaned in for apologies she desperately wanted. But now? "Is that what you were trying to do?" she asked, one brow arching as a wry smile played at her lips. "I remember you telling me you'd upgraded to a better version. Now it looks like you actually purchased from the clearance rack." She glanced briefly at his shoes, then back to his eyes, her tone light but unmistakably teasing, her composure signaling she was firmly in control of the conversation. Roman's shoulders slumped, eyes flitting to the skyline. His ego shrank in the glow of her certainty. Zara straightened. No bitterness, just strength. "I don't go backwards, Roman. I evolve." He blinked, words tumbling in his throat but refusing to land. "So that's it?" She held his gaze, gentle but unyielding. "No. That was it, the moment you chose temporary over loyal." Roman stood silent, searching for the old vulnerability in her eyes, but it was gone. Only resolve remained. She smiled softly, not in triumph, but in peace, before meeting Roman's eyes for a final time. "Take care, Roman," Zara said with quiet confidence, her voice steady and kind as she turned away from the man she once imagined building a life with. As she walked, a quiet strength welled up inside her. For the first time in years, she knew she was choosing herself. Her steps reflected calm resolve, each one marking a gentle closure and the beginning of her own healing journey. With the city sparkling behind her, steps sure, heart steady, closure gifted without confrontation. New Zara didn't tremble, she didn't hope for his repentance. She carried her healing forward, untethered. Chapter 6. A New Light. At a women's empowerment brunch, Zara sat on a panel sharing her transformation story. Her voice was steady, her smile radiant, but beneath the surface, a flutter of nervous excitement danced in her chest, an unfamiliar yet welcome sensation. She remembered how she used to shrink from attention, her words hesitant, and her gaze averted, but now she met the room's focus with quiet confidence, her heart open and her spirit unburdened. Among the audience, a man noticed, not her body first, but her unwavering presence. His name was Jalen, tech entrepreneur, warm eyes, calm confidence, not flashy, solid, grounded. After the event, Jalen approached. Zara's pulse quickened as he neared, but instead of insecurity, she felt a gentle anticipation. She allowed herself to be seen. "Your journey. Inspiring. I love how you didn't lose yourself, you found yourself. We all can take a lesson from that." Zara blushed slightly, feeling a strange warmth, part pride, part vulnerability. "Thank you," she replied, her voice clear. "I'd love to continue this conversation sometime. Coffee? No pressure?" Old Zara might have rushed, eager for approval. New Zara paused, considering her boundaries and her worth. She nodded gracefully, letting a small, genuine smile form. "Send me the details. We'll see." Jalen's eyes sparkled with gentle humor. "Not a solid no. I like my chances." He held out his phone, displaying a QR code linked to his professional profile, a quick way to exchange contact information. Zara scanned it with her own device, her smile growing as the ease of the moment settled in. Unguarded laughter spilled between them, something Zara hadn't shared with a man who wasn't family or just a friend in a long time. She noticed how her chest felt open, her mind uncluttered by the old anxieties. She set boundaries but kept her heart receptive. That was growth, the kind that glowed quietly from within. Chapter 7. Becoming partnerships flooded in, her YouTube channel grew, her savings stacked, her glow became obvious. Inside, she matured. Her spirit quieted, her standards sharpened. She noticed how old anxieties faded, replaced by a gentle confidence she hadn't known before. She took herself on solo dates. Rooftop dinners with cool air brushing her skin, spa days where the scent of eucalyptus soothed her senses, bookstore Sundays spent tucked between shelves, lost in stories. Not because she needed company, because she enjoyed her own now. Later that evening, as city lights twinkled outside their window, Skye raised her glass. To the woman you were becoming even before you knew she existed. Zara teared up, a soft warmth blooming in her chest. Healing isn't loud, but gratitude is powerful. She whispered, I'm proud of me. As you should be, girlfriend. You fought hard to get here, Skye said, her smile bright and unwavering. I did. I fought my last fight. Chapter 8. The Glow Transformation Reflections and the Birth of Legacy. A year had passed, each month marked by a new hurdle or a small, hard-won triumph. Zara's vision for Monet Glow beauty began at her kitchen table, surrounded by swatches, formulas, and a notebook filled with scribbled dreams. There were lonely nights of doubt as she struggled to secure funding, moments when she wondered if her past heartbreak would shadow every step forward. She faced skepticism from investors, learned to navigate contracts, and found herself negotiating with suppliers who doubted her resolve. Each challenge sharpened her resolve. Each milestone, a successful soft launch, the first viral review, her brand's logo debut on glossy packaging, became proof of her metamorphosis. On the evening of the celebration gala, the city's energy pulsed through the marble halls. Zara walked with purpose, her fitted white dress shimmering under the chandeliers, a symbol of rebirth and new beginnings. Gold heels echoed her confidence, each step a reminder of the battles fought and the woman forged in their aftermath. Her team surrounded her, faces radiant with pride, their camaraderie stitched together by long nights and shared ambitions. She paused to thank them, her gratitude genuine, her words affirming. You believed in this before the world did. You are the heart of Monet Glow. The room glowed not just with light, but with possibility. Jalen watched from across the room, hands folded loosely, lips curved in a quiet smile. He had loved Zara once, still did, in a different way now, detached but fiercely supportive. The urge to protect her had softened into admiration as he bore witness to her ascent. Inside, emotions tangled. Pride for the woman she'd become, a pang of wistfulness for the chapters they shared, and awe at her unyielding spirit. He remembered the tears she'd shed in the privacy of uncertainty, recalled how she rebuilt herself piece by piece, brick by brick, refusing to let bitterness define her glow. Standing there, Jalen understood. Support meant stepping back, letting her light lead. He felt peace, knowing his presence was enough, that his love was now the silent kind, the applause from the shadows, the steady anchor as she rose. Outside, Roman lingered beneath the archway, watching guests stream in. Security's firm hand stopped him, and as the door closed, regret pressed heavy against his chest. In the cold silence, Roman realized how much he had lost. Not just Zara, but the version of himself he could have been. Her laughter, her ambition, the warmth she had offered now seemed impossibly distant. He watched as flashes from photographers illuminated her silhouette through glass, and a deep ache settled within him, an ache mingled with grudging respect. Roman saw finally that her glow wasn't something he could claim or dim. It was the light she'd kindled from within, a legacy forged from the ashes of heartbreak, beyond his reach. Shame lingered, but so did a raw kind of hope. Maybe loss could be a teacher, too. As the spotlight found her, Zara stepped to the microphone, her pulse steady. The crowd hushed. She remembered every sleepless night, every doubt she had weathered, every laugh and every tear shed with her team. Her words flowed, rich with conviction. I once thought losing love would break me. Instead, it built me. My glow did not come from revenge, it came from rising. Applause thundered through the hall. Zara's smile was luminous. Not for validation, but for the truth lived and earned. Her glow was no longer a metaphor, it was a legacy shared with every soul who had walked alongside her. Some close, some distant, some left behind. And as she looked out, she saw not just admiration, but the reflection of her own journey. The battles, the beauty, the becoming. Epilogue. The Queen. Later that night, the city's distant hum faded behind thick drapes as Zara arrived home. Soft golden lamplight spilled across her bedroom walls, casting gentle shadows that danced with the flicker of a single candle. She paused, her fingers grazing the cool glass before striking a match. The flame caught instantly, blooming warmth into the stillness. The scent of lavender, rose, and vanilla soothed her spirit, settling the last remnants of adrenaline from the gala. Slowly, she removed her earrings, each click echoing in the hush. She unclasped her necklace, letting it rest on the dresser, a quiet shedding of armor. Standing barefoot on the plush rug, Zara faced the mirror. The world's applause had faded. Her reflection was unadorned, radiant in its honesty. In the silence, she traced the soft glow of the candle with her fingertips, feeling its gentle heat pulse against her skin, a warmth that mirrored the new light blooming within her chest. With each breath, she felt tension melt away, her shoulders relaxing as if she were physically lighter, her heart unburdened. No makeup, no audience, just Zara, whole and luminous. She realized her glow no longer depended on validation from a man or the world's fleeting approval. It came from something far deeper, from the woman she had become, the prayers whispered on lonely nights now answered in quiet resilience. She pressed a palm to her heart, eyes glistening as gratitude welled up. In a hushed voice, she offered a prayer. Thank you, God, for clearing the path, for taking away what dimmed me so I could rise into who I was always meant to be. Peace settled over her, gentle yet fierce. Her smile, soft, powerful, healed, grew in the golden hush. In that tranquil space, Zara understood. Queens don't just survive, they ascend. They rise higher, shining from the inside out. And as the candle's light danced on the walls around her, she knew with certainty she was just beginning to glow. Thank you for listening to today's story here at LA's Listening Lounge. Today we didn't just witness a glow-up, we witnessed a rebirth. She didn't win by being louder, she won by becoming wiser, softer, and beautifully untouchable. If this story reminded you of your worth, leave a heart in the comments and share what part resonated with you most. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and join us again for the next journey, another story of healing, power, and becoming everything you prayed for. Until next time, glow in peace, walk in purpose.